For in death there is no remembrance of thee. In the grave who shall give thee thanks? Psalm 6.5. So the word there for death is Sheol or Saul, but actually means more than death. It's talking about the underworld. So the place where the spirit goes, and the place of many poems and myths and legends about this idea of navigating the underworld. And I've talked before about in Egyptian this idea of QRST burial, which is possibly like this reference to a gateway to the underworld. So I've drawn this oval-like structure, which is fitting given that it's Easter. A figure in the centre, like I guess a guardian, blue in the background, so is that Noon, the void and the waters? And there's a little newt hanging out on the left-hand side. There she is close up, almost like she's hanging out on a branch or something, so that makes me think a little bit of the vine. There's something underneath her there, which possibly has a face, but I can't quite work out what that is. There's the kind of face, if you want to call it that, of the guardian. It's just sort of a tall figure that looks daunting. There's other words that I can't quite think of. But I think it's more like a guardian that's protecting you. It's more like, are you sure you're ready for this? Because in a sense you could get lost in those waters. There's this other face on the right-hand side that looks, I guess, a bit soldier-like. I'm going to go ahead and call it one of the old gods. Right on the top sort of outer ring of this oval is, I think that's like a little bird sort of sat at the top, which I think would be a reference to our spirit. So the idea that our spirit, which is that Ka or Ba, I always get confused. Spirit and a soul, isn't there? Anyway, one of them is able to navigate the underworld while we remain physically here on the other side. I really like this image. Quite a lot of silver in there, and I like the sort of watery effect in the background. It's interesting because I ended up using the back end of the paintbrush to create this sort of, I'm going to call it a wiggly effect, which I've not done before, but I quite like that. It's interesting, my daughter says, should you go to the doctors about that voice in your head? I think as long as it's just telling me to do art, it's okay. Thanks for listening.